Sports Show, hour number 2. Now we're on YouTube. Thanks for watching on YouTube or WKYC Plus the app. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you can always subscribe, become a member. You get updates when we have breaking news. That way, if anything breaks and you're at work, you'll get an update on your phone. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is going live, following this big trade or following this or that or whatever. And if you're a fan of the show, subscribe and watch us whenever sports news happens. Thanks for tuning in to hour number 2 or for hour number 1 if you're on our YouTube audience and you missed the first hour. Cavs have advanced to the second round of the playoffs. We feel great about that.
Yeah.
They knew they were in a series.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. But guys, when you look at the schedule, there's they just boom, you're right back in it.
Yep.
There's 2 games tonight and the 2 other games tomorrow. I think the Lakers play tomorrow night as well in the West. And then,
it's the Cavs and the Lakers series. Those are tied at the hip, and then the 76ers, Knicks,
yes.
Spurs, Timberwolves.
I like all 4. By the way, I mean, this isn't what we had hoped for, but it's a big deal to be in the final 8 teams that are standing. So they've made it here. You really want to be in that final 4. But I think this is a good accomplishment. I like the fact that they were tested. Guys, how do we think that this series with Detroit's going to play out? By the way, I looked it up. The last 10 times the Pistons and Cavs have played. You guys want to guess what the records are?
5-5.
Yeah. Even split.
My gut tells me the Cavs have been a pretty good matchup against Detroit.
Your gut is right.
I know they were 2-2 this year.
You got it.
7-3.
Cavs are. Yeah, they were this. But overall, over the last 10, 7-3 advantage for the Cavs. Now, last year the Cavs were the 1 seed, and Detroit was an emerging team and looked a lot better. But that was year 1 under JB. This year they obviously are the number 1 seed for a reason. How's it going to play out, guys? What do we think is going to happen?
I love the fact that I just love the fact that it doesn't matter. Like, you looked at the last series, and when you look at the last series, you may be anxious a little bit. It goes to Game 7, you pull it out at the end, you win the game, and you may have saw some things during that series that really didn't really sit right with you. But the thing that really always settles in is when you see the final 8 teams. It don't matter what you did last series. You feel a lot better when you start seeing the slate of games and you say, I got a fresh new 7.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteed.
Boston and Denver are looking on saying, we didn't make it.
And dare I mention, those teams probably, if you ask people, may be better than the Cavs.
And their fan bases were thinking that if things broke their way, this could be a year where they win the title.
And so now you look at it, everything is wide open in the East. You got Detroit, who's a team that we talked about it. And right now, we mentioned this during the first hour, this is J.B. Bickerstaff's Super Bowl. You think he don't want to stick it to the Cavs? And you look at the Cavs and Kenny Atkinson, this is the referendum on were the Cavs the team that was the problem, or was the coach the problem? So now we get a chance to see those guys go back and forth. But in terms of the way I'm looking at this series, if the Cavs others can play the same way that they did in Game 7, which is asking a lot, I think the Cavs have a really good chance of beating the Pistons. But I must say, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, you did not have a good series, bro. If you guys want to get to where y'all need to go, you guys are going to have to play a much better series or you will be going home. And it was strange because, Jason, I hadn't seen Donovan Mitchell play a bad series like that since he's been here. I can't remember him having an entire series where he was kind of off a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if maybe that was me, but I had to go back and think about that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, he definitely looked off. He's had playoff games of 50 points and 2 40-point games with the Cavs. He was not at that level at this time. And, I mentioned the first hour, that's the glass half full as the Cavs were able to advance despite Donovan not being at his best. The glass half empty, you nailed it. They're not going to continue if they don't get better performances out of Donovan and James. But who would have ever thought when they fired JB that JB would be back in their life this quickly?
Fast, like
no
this.
Kidding.
Like in year 2, boom, here we go. And you're
2
right.
2 years ago today, he was still their coach.
Yeah.
It's stunning.
So, and the Cavs very clearly told you they felt like the coach was the problem and not the roster because the only change they made at the time was JB, and they brought back the entire roster. And obviously, since then, they've made the Darius trade for Harden.
Yeah.
But he knows the score. He knows what was said and what wasn't said. And he knows how to defend these guys. Who knows how to guard Donovan better than JB?
Yeah.
Who knows the strengths and weaknesses better? Who knows the strengths and weaknesses of Evan better? Although, granted,
And
Evan's been playing better.
tendencies
Yeah, all that
everything
stuff.
else.
So I think it'll be a great series. I think it's going to be a really physical series. Detroit is huge, just in size-wise. They're big. They're going to try and bully the Cavs. We've had the toughness talk for years, and Detroit will bring the fight to Cleveland, and we'll see how they maintain that and how they sustain it.
I love what you said. I don't even know if you'd thought about it, but when you said it, I'm like, that's a poster. The Others.
Yeah.
The Others. Max Strus's face is on there. You can win a series in the first round with your two best players just telling the team, jump on my back, let's go. We got it. They did it in reverse. I think they won this series because the others. At times, there were 4 or 5 different guys in that others category that said, okay, you're not doing it? Jump on Jarrett Allen's back.
Yep.
Jump on Evan Mobley's back. So I think if they can figure out the piece between Mitchell and Harden, and those guys can come back to life like we know they can, and the others can still contribute in major ways in really tight spots. That's what I loved about it. Some of their performances came when they were backs against the wall. So I think this was a huge confidence boost for the others. Now we just got to get the stars jump-started and get them all on the same page. I shudder to think what this team can look like if the core 4 can all play at their peak at the same time, while the others fill in the can backfill with key performances, key buckets, key stops in big moments in the series. I'm going Cavs in 7. I think this is going to be
So you think they're winning
series.
a Game 7 in Detroit?
I know it.
Well, that's the thing.
I think they can do that.
Well, they're going to have to win a road game at some point.
Absolutely.
And that's if they all goes well at home. And obviously they couldn't win one on the road in Toronto. I said before the start of the playoffs, the only team I would pick to beat them is Boston. I got to hold to that, at least for now. So I'm with you. I don't feel great about it. Detroit's a slight favorite. Not much, right? Detroit's not much.
It's almost even. I saw Detroit to win the series was minus 120. The Cavs were plus 102, which is basically
real close.
About as even as you're going to get in a
So
second round
Detroit's a
matchup.
slight favorite. I'm with you. I'll take Cavs in 7. I don't feel great about it, but I do think that they find a way.
I would love, first and foremost, we noticed that we've now introduced Jarrett Allen into the core 4. We on YouTube. We got to give Jarrett Allen his flowers. I don't want him to make it seem like if you didn't see that first hour. Listen, Jarrett Allen is the reason the Cavs are moving on. His playoff performance, he gave you everything that he was being maligned for. He gave you grit, toughness, physicality, want to, hustle, rebounding, all of those things that really turn this game around. And if we're going to need all that against Jalen Duren. You're going to need that against Tobias Harris and some of those guys in the way that Detroit goes about playing the game. Now, I will say this. I think the best case scenario, if you can go in there and you can catch Detroit playing around, you catch them game 1. And they just got off a tough series. They have not been in the playoffs all that much. You catch them coming off an Orlando series, and then you come in and you still game 1. You put the onus on them. If you can catch game 1, now they got to catch up. And what they did, certainly like Orlando did. Orlando kind of put them on their heels a little bit, but Orlando couldn't finish them. I think that the Cavs have enough offensive firepower that they could be able to steal a game 1 and then now have to tell them, all right, well, you got to come to Cleveland and win a game, and somebody else besides Kate Cunningham has to kill us.
Right. I like your approach there. I do think if you're going to win a road game, Game 7 certainly is going to be the most difficult.
That's a difficult one.
And like you said, catch him napping. Hit him between the eyes right off the jump in Game 1. If you steal Game 1, it's demoralizing in a lot of ways because what it really tells, and the Pistons did lose Game 1 against Orlando.
Yeah, they did.
And they rebounded. But what it tells you is you can almost chuckle at him and said, you guys gave max effort for 82 and we just swiped it from you.
Yeah,
That means nothing now. Now we have our destiny at home, and I like that. But I still have them in 7. I think that they might win game 1, but Detroit might steal
Absolutely.
one in Cleveland.
the way that the Cavs have played at home, they have not been world beaters.
No,
at
they
home.
haven't.
They haven't. I mean, and this is what I'm going to say. Cavs, Kenny, you guys, let me talk to y'all. You guys play much better when you get the crowd. The Cavs have one of the best home court advantages in the world. When Rocket Mortgage or the Q starts rocking, it's deafening. I put it right up there with Golden State. I put it right up there with Toronto. You got to give guys something to cheer for early, though.
Yeah.
Don't have them sitting on their hands.
Well, last night games it came out and it was 5-0 home, just off tip.
Nah,
Get the crowd going. Mike, did I hear Mike Tirico right last night? By the way, the guy just amazes me. He's calls
I was at the
Kentucky
game, so I
Derby.
didn't hear Tariq.
Okay.
Yeah, this dude got everything.
Tirico's
Golf,
insane.
tennis,
Whatever.
whatever you want.
I think I heard this right. Maybe you guys read this. I think he said there were 48 first-round games, and that's the most ever. I think that's what he said. Maybe we can look that up.
I know it was the first.
Everything
It was
went
the first
6 or
time
7.
6 of the 8 series all went to at least game 6.
Yeah, and of course I have
know
a
that.
buddy who's a conspiracy theorist. He goes, "Yeah, the NBA's ratings are down. They need the cash. Of course, all these series are going to go the distance."
Well, you know this. You lived in TV your whole life. Though what my understanding was, and I'm curious now if the streaming deals, if this is still accurate, a sweep networks lose money.
Big.
5 you break even.
Yep.
6 is
Exactly
a
right.
profit. 7 is a cash cow.
You're exactly right.
Is that still the case?
I
with
don't know
streaming?
because I don't know the semantics of those streaming deals.
Yeah.
I do know that those streaming packages were very lucrative for the league.
Yeah.
So it might not be that anymore, but we're seeing an odd time in the NBA because I think it went through a period of massive growth and explosion, particularly on the international stage as the foreign players started to have more and more influence in the game. But this short trend of fewer viewers is a bad trend, and the way you can offset that is get these playoff series to go longer. And so far, the league is thanking the NBA, the basketball gods, because we had long series in round 1, and typically that's where you have the shortest series.
The showcases for the showcase for the NBA playoff basketball, like you say what you want about the regular season. Man, listen, in terms of the product, in the playoffs, the NBA is top notch. You look at the parity. Like you can say they put the restraints on where now you look at teams like, even the first round games where a lot of teams did not have the opportunity to say, hey, we're getting swept. Everything was competitive. And you also started to see what I look at with the Cavs is your health plays a lot of roles into it. If you say Jason Tatum plays in that game, guess what? I think the Boston Celtics win that. You take a look at Kevin Durant being out for the Rockets. Luka ain't played at all for the Lakers.
And guys, on that note, Mike, I thought load management was supposed to mean these guys were healthy when it counts. Look at the key players that were dinged in the playoffs.
It don't matter.
Injuries happen at a rate we haven't seen before. And
so
load management sounds great on paper, but it just takes one weird step. You could properly load manage like the Cavs did all last season.
And it blew up in
Game
their
2,
faces.
DeAndre Hunter hurts his thumb. Mobley lands on someone's ankle. Darius' toe flares up.
Season over. Just like that.
Think about for the Raptors. Brandon Ingram and Quickly didn't. I mean, Ingram didn't play the last 2 games. Quickly didn't play. If you look at the Raptors probably say they probably feel like we should have won that series.
Yeah,
the Raptors were better off without Ingram
that point.
Quickly.
The Cavs are the healthiest they've been
Yes.
ever under this era entering a postseason. There's no excuse not to win this series.
No, last year they mowed through Miami in the first round, made it look easy. You know, if Orlando wouldn't have blown, and by the way, it cost their coach his job. If Orlando hadn't blown that 20-point lead in the second half, you got a 6, a 7, and an 8 in the second round of the playoffs. I don't know if that's ever happened.
No, I don't think so. And Cavs would have home court.
They would have home court.
Do you like the matchup better for the Cavs or Orlando or Detroit?
I don't know. Orlando always plays us tough, and they're pesky, and they're tough.
When you look at what Detroit does really well, they are incredibly physical, They want to make it a boxing match.
Yeah.
They want to be able to just beat you up over the course of 7 games and hope that by the time Game 7 rolls around, you don't have the gumption or the will or the strength left to go into another bar fight.
And we're not the perfect team for that.
On paper, no. The Cavs did just survive a 7-game bar fight mini. We'll call it a bar fight light against Toronto. They should be more prepared than they have in the past. But when you look at the offensive options for Detroit, Cade Cunningham is a legit superstar.
He is.
Legitimate superstar. Outside of that, you have Tobias Harris, who is come up and down, had a great Game 7 yesterday, 30 points. He had 17 in the second quarter. Tobias Harris is instilling the fear of day into the Cavs. You have Duncan Robinson, who's a really good three-point shooter, but that's all he does.
Right.
You have Jalen Duren, who was an All-NBA guy this year, who got completely negated by Orlando in the first round of the playoffs. This is his first real playoff run. We'll see if he can find the old Jalen Duren from the regular season, but the playoff Jalen Duren thus far has been significantly below what you expect. You have Asar Thompson, who is an incredible defender, but if you get mad when Dean Wade doesn't shoot, wait till you see what happens when Asar Thompson, it looks like he is actively trying to get as far away from the basket as possible. He has a ton of potential, but he's so good defensively that he can be out there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look to shoot. Their best scorer off the bench is a guy named Dennis Jenkins, who most people don't even know about.
Man, Jenkins,
Bro,
Jenkins he's the new Shed. I'm like, Shed and Jenkins, the Cavs always get destroyed. Get ready for Jenkins to have 2 20-point games. Ready right now. Book it.
Jenkins game log against Orlando, 6-4, 5-3, 6-7, and 16 in Game 7.
Wow.
So up and down. So they don't really have a ton of firepower, which is why I like the matchup with Detroit better than I would have liked the matchup with Orlando, just because between Paolo, Bane, Franz Wagner, if he was healthy, Suggs and Anthony Black. I know Suggs can't make a shot right now. They just had more guys that I think could kill you on a night-to-night basis than Detroit does.
If you look at, I know Vegas was looking at what happened in the regular season and the fact that Toronto's at home. That's why they have them as a slight favorite. But if you showed basketball aficionados just the rosters and you didn't tell them how many games either team won in the regular season, you'd pick Cavs in 5.
Yeah.
I mean, just from roster power, they own it. They've got these guys that are max guys and that are looked at as pillars to an organization. And Detroit has one.
I'm going Cavs in 6. No, I'm going Cavs in 6. I'm going Cavs in 6.
Okay.
6 is rough.
Yeah.
I knew he was going to say 6. Cavs in 6. So
I'll tell you what, his is probably more likely than ours because I don't know if they're winning a Game 7 in Detroit.
That's why I'm going with 6.
Right. Like, I'm asking him which one of them games is they winning? The Cavs is winning in Detroit.
I think they'll win 2 games in Detroit.
2? Which one?
I think they'll win Game 1 in Detroit. They lose Game 2. I think it's 2-2 after the first 4. They both split home and home. Cavs win Game 5 in Detroit and then close it out Game 6.
Yeah, well, that'd be nice.
I mean, that sounds good.
Like, the ask of winning a Game 7 on the road in the NBA playoffs. And by the way, I think it matters for Detroit. It's Detroit and Cleveland, and it's not exactly Boston and New York. But we hate each other.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter the sport.
And 2 great crowds, by the way.
Yeah,
Detroit is a great basketball crowd. Cleveland is a great basketball.
I just don't want to hear Detroit basket. Listen, I'm still listen. I had to wear the jersey today. I had the 25 points. The last 25, I had to pull out the old school LeBron joint. The last 25. I'm gonna tell you this. I like the Pistons. I'm not gonna disrespect the Pistons, but here's the thing that you can be encouraged by the Cavs. I like the fact that the Cavs got pushed to almost a death sentence. And I like the fact that the people that came and saved their seasons is guys that is not named Donovan Mitchell and not named James Harden. And it was a point in time where I was watching that game being like, oh, the cape ain't coming on for none of these 2 dudes. And the cape ain't coming out.
If you knew about Game 7, you would say that the Cavs season's
right.
over.
But Max Strus came out of nowhere. And by the way, we haven't spoke about him. Jalen Tyson said something at halftime, and I said, you know what? I need to play young guys that are oblivious. Sometimes you could be young and don't understand that you ain't supposed to be doing that. He was like, Jalen, you guys were down 12. What are you thinking about? How did you close the gap? He was like, hey man, when they pass you the ball, man, be ready to shoot. You just gotta be ready to shoot, and with confidence too. You know what I'm saying? Be ready. I'm like, That was the most mid-sauce answer in the world. But you know what? It worked.
Simple.
It's simple. Hey, delusional nature when they throw you the ball. And I think he hit a shot. The Cavs were down 3, and Jalen Tyson hit a 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, we right back in it. All we needed to do was tie it up. So I think if we can get that from some of these guys, I think the Cavs have enough firepower. Because Donovan one game going to get hot. Harden's going to be hot one game.
You're not keeping those guys down for 2 series in a row.
No. Somebody going to find a way.
Well,
Remember,
we'll begin to find out 31 hours from now.
They kind of steered their way toward this matchup. This is the one they want. They didn't hide that. Like Kenny said, we look at stuff like this. This is the matchup you wanted. You got a fully healthy roster. Here you go.
Yeah. And JB is saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen, can we bottle whatever you had? If Jarrett Allen plays 90% of what he played in this game,
We're not losing.
we're not losing the series. It's on you, Jarrett.
And by the way, the Lakers, Cavs, the Lakers aren't going to get past OKC, but it's still on the table. It is still on the table. Wouldn't you love that, Jay?
That would be something.
that'd
I
be
mean, that
crazy.
would be
It's-
pretty much
something.
Christmas.
Is Luka and
Easter.
Reeves going to play?
Reeves is back.
I think
Luka
so.
is still
Both of them,
TBD.
right?
Reeves is back. Luka is hopefully sometimes this series.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's not back.
If
But
LeBron,
They're not beating OKC without him.
It
for
doesn't
sure.
matter. They're not being okay.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. OKC's winning it all.
If LeBron beats OKC with SGA, because he has the league in his back pockets, boy, that man gonna be to the free throw line 66 times. But if he beats OKC without Luka, he's the greatest of all time.
Woo! That's a big ask, though.
I don't think it's possible. And
I don't either. I don't either.
If he does that,
I don't know if he beats OKC with Luka.
Thank you. Like, look, but he is throwing oops to his son, which is weird.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
That is
very weird.
That is the biggest flex in the history of mankind.
Come on, son, let's go beat him.
Here you go, dog. Yeah, listen.
you imagine?
I remember when I had you, son. Here
That's
you go.
kind of like when Jay and AJ teamed up in the WKYC UCSF softball game.
It's just like that.
Come on, son, let's go.
It was just like that.
Oh my goodness! But it's still alive.
Still alive.
I'm saying there's a chance.
There's a
And oh
chance.
my God, you talk about great TV. That would be it.
What you mean?
All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, I love this topic that we're doing next, by the way. This show, The Pick Is In, takes you behind the scenes and to show you what teams are thinking at the NBA draft. And there was a trade that was proposed to the Browns that had to be pretty damn tempting. They didn't take it. We'll ask whether or not they should have. We'll explain all of it when the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show comes right back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the program The Pick Is In.
It aired.
But-
It debuted last night, right?
Yes,
during
and
the
it's
Cavs game.
and it will run again.
I need that.
So if you missed it, you can
I
catch it.
watched it this morning while I was getting ready for the show because I saw on social media everyone the Browns were heavily featured in it.
Yeah, because they had a lot of top picks, and
Yeah.
they were doing all the
Well,
trading.
there was only like 3 teams featured. It was
the Cowboys,
Browns,
the Browns, the Cowboys were in there.
Yeah, Cowboys, Browns, and there was one more.
Jets?
Well, they had
Were the Jets in
no,
there?
they had the Raiders. They had the
Raiders.
Eagles. They had a camera with Howie
Yeah, there were
Roseman.
other teams, but it was it was mostly just centered on a few teams. But the pick that was talked about was a pick that actually got some legs on social media the week before the draft, and a
Yeah.
lot of people were talking about, hey, the Cowboys are going to move up, and the Browns, as a result, could get a load. So here's what we know about what happened. Dallas tried to trade up to number 9. Now, Browns, remember, had already moved back a couple of spots. They were doing this while the Browns were on the clock, so the Browns had a lot to consider in a very short period of time. But when they were on the clock, Dallas offered the 12 and the 20 and a 5th round for the 9 and the 24. So the Browns would have moved back 3 and 4 picks in the first round, where they ultimately did pretty well, we think, with those picks. Did the Browns make the right call, though? Should they have? And basically, you're dropping down a couple in each picks of the first round, but you're also picking up a 5th rounder.
They would have
right?
moved up at the second pick.
They'd have moved
They
up
would have
in the
moved
second.
up from
Oh yeah, from 24 to 20,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
so down
So
3
down
with the first
3,
pick
up 4,
and a fifth.
A net
and
of
a
1.
fifth.
I thought this was a terrible offer.
Yeah.
Like this not even close to enough for
Yeah.
me because at the top of the draft is more valuable than the bottom of the
Facts,
first round.
right?
So you're dropping back 3 to move up 4 later, and you're only getting a 5th as a sweetener. That because Mike threw this at me last night during the game. He said, "Would you do this?" And you said basically it was Mekhi Lemon and Caden Proctor,
Caden-
right?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
if you moved
You'd
up, you
swap
could have
out-
got those two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Concepcion.
I mean, history will tell if they made the right choices.
Because
or
we'll
not.
track everything now.
Yeah, but my initial thought was no, I wouldn't do that. I'm not sure that. I mean, they might have taken Concepcion over Mekhi Lemon even at 20. Who knows?
Yeah.
But my initial thought was no, and then like after thinking it through, it was definitely no. And Dallas, meanwhile, first of all, they wanted to just do a swap straight up. They weren't even going to throw in the pick.
Originally.
Yeah, and then they throw in the pick. But the funny part is, so then when they move out of, when they gave Philly the 20 and they moved down to 23, they got 2 4s for moving down to the bottom. Like they got better value for
So it
moving
worked
from
out better
20
for
to
them.
23.
Yeah.
But they got better value to go from 20 to 23 than they were trying to give the Browns to go from 12 to 9.
What
Yeah,
would
they
you-
were trying to fleece the Browns. And
What would you have to get? Like, so I would have said if they would have gave me a 3rd,
I would say that too.
And they
A
gave me a
5th round
3rd.
pick isn't much of a sweetener.
that ain't it.
Well, when Tyson went off the board, they made it very clear. It was Tyson, it was Fano, and it was my I can never say his name. Help me.
Manoa, the guy the Giants
Manoa.
drafted at 10.
So when Tyson went off the board at 8, I think that's what prevented them from going 9 to 12.
Right.
Because they were not assured of getting one of those 3 guys.
Right.
Yep,
And they knew the Giants were going to take somebody
so
ahead of them.
Oh yeah, so they couldn't.
So
they couldn't. If
It
that
would,
was,
I think it would probably had to have been more than a 3.
Really?
For only because of what I just said.
Well, Dallas never would have done that.
Tyson's gone, so you know you're going to get one of the 2 linemen if you stay at 9. But if you go down to 12, there's no guarantee that
Yeah.
you're going to get those guys.
No, I'm not doing that. You're right. Like when I looked at it, I was like, hold on, like because I'm doing the math on the net value. It's like, okay, well they're moving down, they're moving up. but
Down
then-
3 earlier, up 4 later.
And I'm like, the best players are at the top of the draft.
Correct. Yeah, why would you-
So why
correct.
would I? I'm like, nah. If you gonna have to give me something where, and plus I got to see who else is on the board. And if you see what the Browns actually got and what they were able to move up with and get, I mean, they got 4 guys that could possibly have first-round grades. I was like, nah, I'm cool on that. Now, throw this graphic. I didn't know this. This is the KC Concepcion versus Mekhi Lemon. I would have not guessed
The
that.
touchdown. Look at the touchdowns.
So Concepcion played like as a primary guy from his freshman year on. Mekhi Lemon only had I mean, he played a little bit as a freshman, a little bit as a sophomore. His breakout year was as a junior.
I see that. I wouldn't have thought that because I remember watching Mekhi Lemon play a little bit, and I thought he played more than that. But if you look at the career, I mean, 25 touchdowns to 14. I mean, he's a really good special teams player. I do think I would still have Mekhi Lemon rated higher because me and Jason were sitting here when the draft happened. I said I would have traded up for Mekhi Lemon where they was at. I think he's a better player, but the statistics is a lot more skewed than I thought. But KC Concepcion also played a lot at NC State. Like they got, matter of fact, they put the ball in his hand in the backfield a little bit.
What's curious to me that we won't maybe ever have the answer to is if the Saints didn't take Tyson at 8.
What would
they do at 9?
Yeah.
Because he was very clearly under, and maybe they do move back. Maybe they try and squeeze more out of Dallas. Maybe they do go to 12 if all 3 guys are still on the board. I think they stick and pick at 9, but I'd be curious to know if it would have been Tyson or if it would have been Fano still.
It is fascinating as we get a look inside of what was happening in real time, how one move can affect so many dominoes.
It's the sliding doors.
And it really, I mean, it would put a completely different face on this draft.
Yeah.
Who was the young lady, Jory Epstein?
Yeah.
You can see her, by the way, in the background of all the shots from the War Room yesterday.
Right.
She's sitting against the wall. It was like, oh, yeah, she was just telling us about that.
She was saying, like, they have these machines or AI. Listen, they got the new AI. They might have been getting this AI from
simulate what happens.
Yeah, like, so when somebody takes somebody, they automatically reshuffle your board based on what you've put into it and be like, here's who you should take right now, and then it changes by teams. Like they have like these phones where people are calling, and then the data changes and basically saying, okay, well, this is what they're offering, what the value pick is, should you take it or should you not? I'm like, dang, they got that up to date.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
And it was updating other team needs and everything in real time. And
I don't care how big your staff is, you can't do that.
No.
It's just like, everybody uses AI now. I think.
Yeah.
But
if you aren't, you're losing your mind. You might want to get on it.
We're doing a topic next that I used AI for, and I asked it the most ridiculously specific question that you can ask. In the weeds, you type this into Google, you won't get an answer.
Yeah.
And I typed it in, and I thought, okay, I am pushing the limit right now. Let me see how. And as I'm thinking that, boom, there it comes.
2.5 seconds.
And it was more detailed than I asked. And then at the end of it, it said, if you'd like me to dig deeper, I can. But what the information that it looked up and how quickly it gathered it and how accurate it was, because I double-checked it, I was just like, what the hell's going on in my phone?
I was talking, Jay was saying that last year because Jay's mind was blown by AI last year. It was just crazy. It was like, this is wild. So I got into the rabbit hole. I was like, listen, I want to see how smart they is. I took an x-ray. Of my left ankle. Now, I had already had the doctor look at it. I just had it laying. It was already in my chart. I took and gave it to him, right? And I wanted to see how close AI would be close to the diagnosis that the doctor gave me. I put it in 3 seconds. They spit out a whole, he was like, now listen, I'm not really a doctor, but looking at your imaging, it was to the exact T of what the doctor said.
If you want to have fun with AI,
it's wild.
Take a picture of something random. It could be the upper corner of this, and say, what am I looking at? Oh, that's the upper left-hand corner of an American clipboard.
I don't
like. I mean, I'm talking like, how many times have we found something and you look at it and go, that looks like it's important. What is that? And you look at it and you're like, I know I've seen this before. And you take a picture of it in AI and it tells you, oh, this is what it is.
If you have trouble hooking up something, I was working in my studio, I'm like, why is my sound not working? I took a picture of the board, send it to him. It was like, well, obviously, thank you. This really works out so well. It seems that you have your aux cord plugged in the wrong one.
That's exactly right.
And I'm like, how? I don't know how.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
It's
my wife
unreal.
seen it.
Well, we talked about it. I made that's our logo for our travel baseball team this summer. Made it on AI.
How do you,
The Dragons.
If you sent that to a person that needed to draw it, you would have to go back and forth with the artist 5 to 6 times.
And you'd have to pay the artist.
$500,000 for that probably. to come up with
I
that.
mean, and AI did it, and probably
It's the defenders.
gives
We're
you
the defenders.
10 examples, because I'll say, give me 10 samples.
Yeah.
And boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, oh my God, I'll take either one, any of these. Just
Yeah.
throw a dart.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
We're all in trouble.
Oh, it's going to kill us
We're
all.
done.
Oh, we're all
done.
done.
We're done.
We're all done.
Finished.
It's the end of the
We
world.
just happen to get in early. Future generations get luck to
My
be
kids have no shot.
subjugated. You will be
Don't tell
subjugated.
them that.
Skynet
It's
is
so
coming.
defeating. But, the only jobs that are going to exist are manual labor,
Yeah.
because AI cannot fix a pipe.
You're right. Right.
They can tell you how to fix it, but they can't fix it. All right, we're taking a break. When we come back, we'll get into the topic that I told you I was using AI for. It comes down to the Browns' return game. Is KC Concepcion finally, the missing piece for the Browns' return game? That when we come right back.
Every man deserves to know their T levels. Step into Game Day Men's Health, Solon, and get tested on us. No guesswork, no waiting, just real answers. Jay, I'm speaking of answers, fascinated to see what AI gave you as an answer to our next question, which is, how good will KC Concepcion be as a returner on the NFL level?
Significantly better than the Browns' history. That's what it says. And here's the main reason for that answer. Over the last 5 years, here's where the Browns have ranked in their return game. In 2021, they were 25th. In 22, they were 31st. In 23, they were 23rd. In 24, they were 21st. And in 25, they were 30th.
Yeah.
30th.
That's not good.
No, I mean, it's an average of 26.5 or whatever. Finding lanes early in his return.
That's how you gotta do
bursts
it.
of speed. They think he's going to translate at the next level. So, I mean, really, the only answer to this is it has to be better, because this is a spot that they have been notoriously awful. With the exception, I mean, if you go back, obviously they had the Ice Cube. I'll date myself. Gerald McNeil was great.
Metcalf.
Eric Metcalf was great. Josh
Ice
Cribbs
Cube.
was great. And then all of a sudden, it's like the organization forgot how important it was to have a good return game.
they've tried.
You can flip the field. They have tried.
And they keep
got
getting
hurt
hurt.
on the first play of the preseason.
Right. Yeah.
There goes that.
Haven't they signed 2 return specialists?
And both of them were hurt.
DeAndre Carter and Marquise Goodwin.
Yes.
Good one.
No, there's another one outside of Goodwin.
Yeah, somebody blew out his ACL.
It was first fight for the Dolphins.
It was the very first.
Oh, Jakeem Grant.
Yeah.
Grant. Like, these are guys that were good moves. You're like, okay, they finally addressed it.
So they've tried. They have tried to address it.
Now, AI can't predict injuries. Not that I know of.
Yet.
But they like KC Concepcion as a considerable upgrade at the position.
I look at one of the things that, we look at it, and I've always said, like, okay, I've been digging back into, like, just digging back into film, and for some reason I just happen to go back to watch the old school Ohio State Buckeye teams, and I went back and got to a year where it was the year
Ginn.
they had Ted Ginn, but then they had Anthony Gonzalez, and
And before that, Michael Wiley was a pretty good return.
Wiley was a good one. Remember Kenyon Rambo? They thought he was going to be the next.
I thought Rambo was an NFL superstar.
California, the Buckeyes has kicked down the doors to the Mississippi River. They're recruiting everywhere now. I thought he was going to be the truth, but
first of all, because of his name, let's face it. If it was Kenyon Smith, we'd have been like, he's not pretty good. But when his last name was Rambo, we're like, this dude's coming with a headband and a buck knife.
Hey man, he about to have a machete on him, bro. Like, and then they had. He played for the Steelers. Santonio Holmes.
Oh yeah.
And when you watch Tressel, I was going back and I got into the time machine and I just started to see how they was playing it. Tressel would be doing these imaginary math. It'd be hitting yards. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get right up here so we can punt. And then we're gonna pin you down 3 and out." Then you have to kick to our guys. I got Teddy Ginn back here or Gonzalez back here. And then Anthony Gonzalez, if he wanted just really somebody to catch it and get upfield to give me 12, now all of a sudden you done flipped the field on them. You got the ball, and then guess what? Now we still running the ball. These guys.
And then you get in field goal range, kick a field goal, and you win the game.
Then you win the game. It's like, and you're like, how does this work? But there's so many little hidden pieces and yards. And I'm going to tell you this. I really think that the move that's going to happen in the league is, I'm telling you, guys ain't running around here throwing for no 300 every week no more. I looked at it. I took a look at the teams, the quarterbacks that played against the Cleveland Browns last year. I think that the highest total was 285 yards. I don't even think nobody threw for 300 against the Browns. And the Browns were one of the worst teams. They won 5 games. I think teams are going to say, listen, it's a lot of hidden yards. If we can get some returns on punt returns, if we can find some yards on our special teams, if we can get back last year, we had Gage Larvin back there. The whole time I was just sitting there with my
hoping he didn't fumble.
Please just fair catch it and lay it down. That's all we need. Fair catch, lay it down. But if you can get some return yards and you can average and actually add that back to what the Browns are doing, you can win a couple of games that you might not supposed to, especially if you get a return touchdown. Return touchdown, we should ask AI, what is the win percentage of a team that gets a punt return for a touchdown in the game?
They'll know.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, they'll know.
I mean, it has to be kickoff return. I mean, that's
you're right. Hidden yards, hidden points. That's Tressel's blueprint right there. Play defense, get hidden yards on special teams, and have a good field goal kicker.
Well, he always used to call the punt the most important play. That was his staple. The punt's the most important play in football. And I asked him one time, like, because I said, why do you, why?
He's like, why?
He said at no other play does the ball swing that many yards at one time.
Yeah, he's right.
Is on a punt. And to your point, if you can steal 8 yards on a return, it's first down.
Yeah.
If you can get 8 to 10 yards, you're now 1 first down ahead of where you would have been had you fair caught it or whatever. So,
and if you got a kicker with a big leg, and a defense that can,
it may not sound like much, but you like 7, 8, 9 yard return. Well, that's almost the equivalent to 1 first down.
Yeah.
According to ChatGPT, since 2015, so a 10-year study,
now imagine
using sources from StatMuse, PFF, public data sets, NFL.com, and more. NFL teams have a 73.4% win percentage if they score any kind of return touchdown.
That's crazy.
Wow. Now that throws in pick sixes and kickoff returns.
Pick six,
right?
Punt, and kickoff.
Yeah,
that's astounding.
Because think about it. If it puts you because once you
gives you a 7-point head start,
and then it changes the way you call the game. If I could get a punt return and I know my defense is playing well, and God forbid the game is in Cleveland with the weather being bad, 7 points on a return is devastating.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to move the ball up and down the field in bad weather. It just shows you, like, if you don't got an elite team, like elite talent, you're going to have to win on the margins, and you have to win on the margins and play good field position and don't turn the ball over and don't be penalized. But if you add a guy like that can give you returns inside the 50, now my playbook is open. I don't got to run all kind of crazy stuff.
3 out of 4 games. You're winning 3 out of 4 when you get a return touchdown. That's astounding.
Yeah.
I thought it might be in the 60s.
I thought it was maybe 52, which I was going to do a victory lap and jump up and down. But oh my God, see?
No, that's big.
I mean,
That's big.
I didn't even know 70 is kind of wild. That's kind of crazy.
It's crazy.
So,
Jay, are we gassing it here, or do we think that we've turned a corner with our return game?
No, I think it, like, obviously there's questions about Concepcion as receiver, right?
Yeah.
With the drops and
Yeah.
everything else. If nothing else, the floor on him is I think he will be an excellent returner. Now, you want more out of your 24th overall pick than that, obviously. But you'll take, like, I don't think this is, I did a hit with Ken and Lima the other day who said, everyone's all excited about the receivers. I remember when they took Muhammad Massaquoi and Brian Rubisky, and everyone was excited about that.
That's true. You're right. You're
But
right.
I don't think, at least Concepcion's going to give you something. Even if it's not the ceiling, I think his floor is still going to be a contributor to this team.
I love that back angle. He catches the ball, and he's going north and south.
Yeah.
The guys that run east and west, I have no use for.
yeah,
I have no use for those guys.
You're not getting that off.
And he doesn't seem to
You're
do
not
that.
getting that off in the league.
All right, we're going to take a break. That's our last break of the show. When we come back, it's a new segment Mikey came up with. I like it. Hand up, my bad. That's a basketball deal.
Yeah.
We're going to actually fall on the sword, and all of us, and say
Literally.
why we missed our Cavs in 5 prediction for series number 1. All right, Super Chats. Let's get to them real quick before we dive into our last topic. The Real Night King says, J.A. was like, what would Bron do? James May said, the Raptors, Pistons, and Sixers will go home to the mighty Cavs.
The mighty
JB
Cavs.
Hoop says, shout out to J.A. Loved when he told him to go home. Shout out to Evan. You can see him growing. Shout out to Kenny for trusting Tyson with those minutes. I'm big on JT. He's our Derek White. Bojangle says, Cavs are going to need a plan for Asar Thompson. If not, he's going to have D. Mitch in jail all series. DB Dog said, Dennis Schroeder, going off on Mitchell after that turnover was the turning point. Mitchell went crazy after that. If J.A. shows up each game, Cavs will be champs. And last but not least,
Tay Toon says, shout out to Shador for graduating this weekend with a 3.9 GPA.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
Sources said
That's
you
dope.
weren't smart enough to take the test. Shout out to Munkin for letting everyone take the test. I got faith. Browns will go 10-7.
Everybody gonna take the test. Hey man, look. By the way, it's so much easier for people. If I was getting NIL money and doing, my mom and dad would probably make me get a degree, but it shows a lot that you really do want to get a degree.
Your mom and dad would definitely make you get a degree.
They were like, nah, bro, you going back to school. But so shout out to him and getting his degree.
I
That's
love
a big
it.
thing.
I
That's
love
a
it.
great
really
thing.
good.
It's
Really,
more than
really
anything. It's
cool.
like a lifetime achievement
Absolutely.
deal.
Yeah.
It's jumping through a hoop that a lot of people can't get through.
Gotta get that paperwork, bro.
And I'm pumped for him. Not just for him. There are a lot of
great
young
moment.
guys that
Really,
look up
really
to
cool
him.
moment, yeah.
And it's a great example that he sets by
Yeah.
saying, I started something.
I'm finished.
It took me a little different path than I imagined.
Once guys
but I
leave for the
finished.
NFL, not a lot of them go back to finish. So good on him for
Yeah.
going back to finish.
Absolutely. Well, usually if you're leaving early, you're making big money.
Yep.
And then the thought process becomes, well, I don't need an education.
Yeah.
But everybody needs an
He
education.
ain't hurting. He ain't hurting. He
No,
all
he's
right.
not.
doing
I
all
think
right.
he's gonna be okay.
But shout out to that man. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
congratulations.
So we started the YouTube hour talking about the Cavs Pistons preview. We're going to do something real quick for the next 5 minutes called Hand Up My Bad.
Yeah.
We're going to look back at how we thought the Toronto series was going to go, figure out what we got wrong in our analysis, and see if it applies and makes us smarter basketball aficionados heading into Detroit. I'll start. Hand Up My Bad, Scotty Barnes is way better than I thought he was.
Yeah, right?
Did not anticipate this Scotty Barnes renaissance coming out. Hand Up My Bad, I didn't anticipate any world where Donovan Mitchell played like he did in games 3 through 7, and the Cavs still winning. And last but not least, hand up my bad for thinking the Cavs bigs were not going to be an absolutely integral part to them advancing through the first round. I thought it would be enough just to have James and Donovan, and I thought that talent discrepancy was going to be enough for the Cavs to get past Toronto. I was wrong. I'm man enough to admit it, so hand up my bad. Toronto was better than I gave them credit for, and I'm still picking Cavs in 6 over Detroit.
Man, I got the biggest one is Scotty Barnes. Listen, I've been known for slandering Scotty Barnes. I talked about how I just didn't like the fact that I don't know what his game is. I was like, man, I need him to do something. His fro, he got to get lined up better. But in like this dude came into this series, I ain't gonna lie. To me, he was like the best player in the series. Like the fact that he can handle the ball, the fact that he's a much better passer than I thought. He initiates offense. He's physical, and for him to consistently hit down contested mid-range jumpers, to me, I didn't know he had none of that in his game. And then the thing that was really elite was, we talk about Evan Mobley being elite defensively. Scotty Barnes was out here shadowing Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, and then turning around, still guarding the post defenders and not giving up. I'm like, I didn't think he was that big, capable of moving his feet. And then plus two, I underestimated the Raptors, their coaching staff, because I thought they had a tremendous plan. I thought they had a plan defensively for our guards. I think they to inspire those dudes to play that hard. They played in RJ Barrett. Remember we did the thing over, we were sitting here and talking about who we would take, the draft of players?
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm not scared of RJ. Yeah, RJ Barrett played his tail off. I mean, he was their second best player, and he brought grit. He hit a big shot in Game 6. But, shout out to the Raptors, man. I got a lot of respect for the way they played, man.
Yeah, I didn't think they could lock up Donovan the way that they did in this series, and James, really. I didn't think that they could keep the Cavs guards under control like that. I thought Toronto would win 1 playing this style of turning them over, creating turnovers into points. I didn't think they could win 3 that way, and they did. And I didn't think Jarrett Allen had it in them.
Yes, that's
So
a big one.
good on JA last night.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately we all got the team winning right, but hands up my bad, I forgot how impactful the Toronto crowd can be. Like, if I had them in 5, well, to do that, you've got to go and win 1 in Toronto. And they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I believe if Toronto would have had the home court advantage in this series,
They probably would have won.
they would have won. Because their fans made a huge statement by saying, we're not going to let you lose here. We're not.
Right.
And there were moments where 3 and 4 where you thought that it could get sideways for Toronto. and that's when the sixth man just stood up and made noise. Those folks are resilient.
It's a whole
they
country.
get punched in the face and they cheer about it.
It's a whole country.
It is a whole country.
Like,
that's exactly right.
Everybody.
And
like,
we don't understand that here because we've got 27 teams or whatever, 29 teams. And when you get, and we saw it in the World Series, really.
Yeah, that was Game 7
You
too.
got everybody from Saskatchewan to
Winnipeg, Vancouver.
To all of these provinces, East, West Coast. Imagine in the United States, well, you can for the Olympics. The entire country gets behind one team and you can feel it. And hands up my bad, I forgot how loud they were, how good they were, how smart they are as a crowd. They hit all the right buttons. So I forgot about that. And also, hand up my bad, I thought Donovan and James Harden were really hungry to dispel this notion that when the lights get bright, they shrivel. I thought they were ready to shed that image, and they haven't yet. No. They're gonna have some work to do in this next series.
I think James played better than the numbers indicated. I don't think Donovan played better.
No, I don't either. In fact, when you look at Donovan's numbers, he had big games 1 and 2, but then he just disappeared. And even in Game 7, he had 22, but it didn't feel like an impactful 22.
In Game 6, James had 20 potential assists and 6 actual assists.
Because everybody kept missing.
The game looks a lot different if they have 10 assists, 11 assists. I thought James played better.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He didn't play great. I'm not saying he played great.
Yeah, he didn't shed that.
He played better than some of the numbers suggest if you just sit and look at the
that's
box.
a fair point.
And his defense was pretty good, too, to be honest.
I thought he played better defensively. Now, T-Mac and I believe it was T-Mac, Vince Carter, and who else is on the halftime show? Carmelo. He said, Donovan and James, they kind of looking at each other like, are you going to take over or are you going to do it? Like he said, I think Donovan started to shoot more, but I do think that they have to be better as these playoffs go around. I think they have to be much better at understanding the flow of the game because there's going to be times where there might be an avalanche coming and somebody else on another team might be getting hot and you got to do something to keep yourself in the game.
You mentioned, hand up my bad, Jarrett Allen. I think collectively as a group, big fella, we owe you an apology. Hand up our bad. We did not see that coming from you.
No, at all. At all.
What in the hell happened?
Now you got to do it again. Now you got to do it again.
And speaking of Jarrett Allen,
that means nothing today. You got to do it 7 more times against Detroit.
Speaking of Jarrett Allen, our 60-second trivia, Jarrett Allen became the first player since who to have 20 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 blocks in a Game 7.
Within the last 15 years. It wasn't LeBron James, right?
It is not LeBron. It is last 15. It is not Shaq.
Tim Duncan?
Nope.
Wait, it's the last 15, huh?
It is. It happened in 2020. I'll give you the year.
Oh, in 2020?
Durant?
Nope.
Jokic?
That is correct. Nikola Jokic.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
To do it.
What was his line? 22 and 19?
22-19, 3 blocks, 2 steals.
The 22-19 has only been done one other time. AI tells me that Marvin Webster